Welcome to the Northwest Kidney Center's 2021 Hope Builders live stream. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Matt Lorch. I'm a news anchor and reporter at Q13 News in Seattle, and I am so incredibly honored to be here as your host for this important event. We are all here with a common goal: to help our family and friends living with kidney disease find hope. Hope that a life-threatening illness doesn't mean that they have to lose what brings them joy and fulfillment. That is really at the heart of our mission, and it would not be possible without your support today. It is easy to donate. Just grab your smartphone, tablet, or laptop and go to nwkidney.org. You can see the link down there at the bottom of your screen, and click on the button that says Make Your Hope Builders Gift in the blue banner at the top of our homepage. Then you will be ready to make a difference for people in our community facing kidney disease. I know this is different from our previous fundraisers, so here's what you can actually expect during this live streamed program. You'll hear from our CEO, Rebecca Fox. Dialysis patients will share with you how Northwest Kidney Centers has supported them through kidney failure and their most trying times. You will hear from our palliative care team about their critical work for our patients and their families. The chair of our Northwest Kidney Centers Foundation Board has a really special message for you. We will come together as a community to support Northwest Kidney Centers and its important work, and then a remarkable opportunity to learn from a leader in this field. We will hear from our keynote speaker, Dr. Stephen Pantalat, the inaugural chief of the Division of Palliative Medicine at the University of California, San Francisco. So stay tuned for that. You know, this event would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. Due to their commitment, every dollar you donate today will go directly to support our kidney palliative care and our charity care programs. So a huge thank you to our signature event sponsors, Aldrich and Associates, Ascend Clinical, and the Kidney Research Institute. Our presenting event sponsors, Davis Wright Tremaine and UW Medicine. This year's premier event sponsors, Division of Nephrology, University of Washington, and Swedish. Our platinum event sponsors, AHT Insurance, Puget Sound Kidney Centers, and Via Healthcare Consulting. And our platinum Hope Builders sponsor today, USI Insurance. We also want to thank our silver level sponsors and our bronze level sponsors for their support. And to all of our sponsors, thank you for your dedication to Northwest Kidney Centers and patient care that goes above and beyond. That is really what makes Northwest Kidney Centers so special. The care they provide our friends and loved ones facing kidney disease. It is an unwavering commitment to put our patients first. And I have to say, it is at the center of everything we do. This commitment has never been more critical than during this past year, delivering the same level of patient care through a pandemic. We knew that thousands of patients and families were counting on us to safely provide life-saving dialysis treatments, and we have been leading the way with new safety protocols that were adopted nationwide, stepping up to provide our patients the COVID-19 vaccine so they wouldn't have to make 2 extra trips to be vaccinated, and keeping a promise to our patients that the programs that help make their lives better every day would not be compromised. Let's hear more about the holistic programs Northwest Kidney Centers provides our patients from our president and CEO, Rebecca Fox.
Thank you for being a part of today's Hope Builders live stream, an inspiring celebration of the life-changing impact your support has on our patients. We are grateful to all our generous sponsors and their unwavering support of Northwest Kidney Centers. We are also welcoming several new sponsors this year. Please accept my heartfelt thanks. When I connected with you virtually at last year's event, I had just arrived in Seattle to take on this role. I never imagined I would be speaking to you from a distance again a year later. COVID has brought enormous pain and hardship to our entire community. But it has also provided a sense of clarity about the most important parts of our lives: personal connections, embracing loved ones, a sense of shared community. It has also illuminated the importance of adapting our services to meet our patients' evolving needs. During the pandemic, we launched a new telehealth program and put more resources into home-based therapies. We are exploring new ways that we can integrate technology and innovative care models to improve our patients' experience and make their care more convenient and comfortable. These changes are part of our efforts to treat our patients holistically, rather than narrowly focusing on their medical symptoms. We know that truly compassionate advanced health care entails meeting the physical, intellectual, emotional, social, and spiritual needs of patients and their loved ones. It's about empowering patient autonomy, providing access to information, and facilitating choice when it's needed the most. That's the heart of our palliative care program, and it's what your support today makes possible. Palliative care is one of the most impactful yet least understood branches of medicine. It embodies hope at its core, hope that life can be enjoyed even while battling chronic illness. Patients with a serious illness who receive palliative care live longer than those who do not. They also live better, with less pain, less suffering, more joy, and more agency. Through this care, we can provide holistic support, compassion, and empowerment to people in their time of need. I recently asked one of the nurses on our palliative care team why she was drawn to this field. Palliative care is a relationship, she said, not an appointment. When our patients face serious chronic illness, one of the most important things we can do is help them embrace the life they have to live and to surround them with a team to help support their individual journey. Northwest Kidney Centers was the first organization to offer a palliative care program embedded within a dialysis center. Holistic care is at the core of who we are and what we do, but it relies on the generosity of donors like you. I am grateful for your support that enables us to continue providing compassionate, whole person care that respects our patients' dignity and builds hope. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but today is full of opportunity and hope. For everything you do to empower our patients to live their best lives, thank you.
And thank you, Rebecca, for your leadership and your vision. Northwest Kidney Center's commitment to provide the best possible patient care means a dedication to programs that best serve the patient. There are so many of our friends and family members and loved ones who have experienced kidney failure. They know when they step through our doors, our entire staff stands behind them. These patients, they are courageous people, and we thought you should hear directly from them.
I was diagnosed with diabetes at 9 years old. The high and low blood sugars took a toll on my kidneys.
I was 28 years old and I had a bladder infection and I was diagnosed with kidney failure and I was in the hospital within the next 24 hours.
I couldn't walk from the bedroom to the bathroom, and it was the worst feeling in the world. When your kidneys break down, everything goes out. You can't do nothing. And dialysis helps me to get all that back, get my life back.
Y sí me ha ayudado mucho en lo personal, sí me ha ayudado mucho a mí estar bien con mi familia y cambiar unas cosas que no hacía antes.
It allows me to spend time with friends. It allows me to still be a part of my church.
It makes it possible for me to be independent.
ខ្ញុំបានទៅលៀងឈាមគឺគួរជួយច្រើនក្នុងការធ្វើឲ្យអាយុជីវិតរបស់ខ្ញុំនឹងធ្វើដំណើររស់រានមានជីវិតដំណើរល្អប្រសើរបានហេតុដូច្នេះបានខ្ញុំទៅលៀងឈាម
I am incredibly grateful for dialysis. This saves my life.
Without it, I wouldn't live very long.
Both of us would like to say thank you to all Northwest Kidney Center staff that taking care of my mom and other patients.
I love these people here. These people saved my life. I love every one of them in there.
I think the staff here is wonderful. Nothing short of that. If I have any questions or something's bothering me, they take care of it right away.
They make each day tolerable with their humor and their fun. There's just no words to say how grateful I am for all of them. I don't think they get told that enough.
Thank you, Northwest Kidney Center. I appreciate everything you do for us.
Thank you.
អរគុណ
រស់រៀនបានប៉ុណ្ណេះ
Thank you.
Gracias.
Northwest Kidney Center, thank you. Thank you so much. Because if it wasn't for Northwest Kidney Center, I would not be alive today. Thank you.
Wow. So many of us watching today, we have a personal connection to kidney disease, and that actually includes my family as well. If I could share a few photos. So that is my older brother, Jeff, and his son, my nephew, Caden. In 2013, Jeff had not been feeling well, so he went and saw his doctor, who did some routine blood tests. Well, later that day, his doctor called him, told him to go to the emergency room. His kidneys were failing. He had 8% function. Turns out he had a genetic condition called Alport syndrome. That's how he learned about it that day. Well, within a month, Jeff was on dialysis 10 hours a day for 18 months. Thankfully, we found a match, who happened to be our younger brother, Jordan, who you can see right there in the middle. And let me go to the next photo, because this right here, this is the day of the transplant. That is Jeff on the left, the recipient, and Jordan on the right, the donor. The transplant, it was incredibly successful. Doctors believe this kidney may serve Jeff for another 30 to 40 years, and they are both doing great. That is Jeff and Caden on the top, doing what they love, spending time together, fishing. Down below, that is Jordan, the donor, doing what he loves, running marathons, and you can see his two sons doing what they love, sticking out their tongues in photos. I have to say, we had the best possible outcome. But I also recognize for many people facing kidney failure, there are often other serious and complex health considerations. Well, thankfully, patients at Northwest Kidney Centers are able to connect with a specially trained care team who bring comfort to families during a challenging time. The palliative care team assists patients with everything from pain and depression to insomnia and mobility issues. They also help patients with decisions and advanced care planning for the end of life. These are difficult conversations, but critical ones for every family on this journey. And here is a look at the transformative work the palliative care team is doing every day.
I got a call from my dad that my Amma is very sick, and she's my paternal grandmother. I booked a flight, got my passport, and landed in Toronto. And I sort of expected to have a better sense of what was happening with my grandmother. Did she have days? Was it weeks? Was it months even? And so we asked to talk with the doctor. It's around 6 p.m. and they said, we couldn't. She died early that morning. We were there. We held her hand, we told her that we loved her. There was someone who kind of rushed in, hurried, and flatly announced, I'm just here to pronounce her, I don't know anything about her. There was such a lack of compassion and empathy for the moment. I realized that I need to gain some additional skills in how to best guide people through challenging situations. And so that's what led me to palliative care. Palliative care is specialized medical care for anyone with serious illness, with the goal of relieving symptoms and the suffering that's associated with that serious illness. And it's delivered by an interprofessional team. We have a physician, myself, a nurse, and a social worker, all trained in palliative care.
People with kidney disease deserve palliative care, just wasn't as available for them. Fortunately, the leadership here at Northwest Kidney Centers decided to figure out how can we make this work? We have to make this work.
And so we started the first embedded palliative care program within a dialysis provider in 2017.
Palliative care is about treating the whole person, and the whole person involves not just who they are as an individual, but also to offer support to families.
Louis Shaw was a patient who we met here at the Kidney Center while he was on dialysis in 2018. He just loved talking about his kids. That was his favorite thing to talk about. He was facing a very, very short prognosis. Louis expressed that one of his top priorities was time with people who he loved, and so he would love to see his kids as much as possible. So we gathered at the facility he was living at, sat them all down together, and shared the information that we had so that everybody could be fully aware. Everybody talked together and decided that this was a time to come together as a family. A couple of them actually ended up getting a van that could hold a wheelchair. And so they came and got him and took him out on a couple of trips. Time went by and Louis actually started feeling better and better. And he had some amazing time that he didn't think he was going to have. As he did start to get more frail and more sick, then they were able to come back together and have conversations again as they were facing some different choices.
After Louis died, I spent time talking with Ian on the phone in follow-up for his grief process to reflect on how his dad meant so much in his life and the ways that he hoped to emulate his father, keeping him a part of his life in that way.
Palliative care is sharing in someone's hope, in learning what that hope is and finding out how we can be supportive to that hope. And it looks very different for each person, and it looks very different for the same person at different parts of their life. So we keep asking the question, what are you hoping for?
And Russ, when you get settled in, we'll roll it. You're ready.
Hello, everyone. My name is Russ Stepp, and I am the chair of Northwest Kidney Center's Foundation Board. It's a privilege to be with you today. You are here today to build hope. Hope for improving the quality of life, hope for bringing healing, hope for empowering patients and their families so they can thrive on their journeys to better health. We are building hope today for all those things and more, and we owe it all to you. Because of your generosity, we have innovative programs like our Kidney Palliative Care Program. Northwest Kidney Centers is the first dialysis organization in the nation to offer this service as an embedded program for their patients. And there is absolutely no cost to our patients to receive this specialized service. It is funded 100% by your compassionate support. Your gifts today will also strengthen the safety net that ensures anyone can receive kidney care, regardless of their ability to pay. It doesn't matter who you are or what your background is. You never know when your health could take a life-altering turn. This is true for me. Polycystic kidney disease, PKD, runs in my family. Both my father and brother were diagnosed with this genetic disease. Both of them ended up needing dialysis to stay alive. Since PKD is inherited, I knew there was a strong possibility I would face the same prognosis as my father and brother. My kidneys would become enlarged, develop cysts, and eventually stop working. Thankfully, I received a kidney transplant in 2008, which fully restored my kidney function. My nephrologist, Dr. Cyrus Christ, encouraged me to get involved with Northwest Kidney Centers, first as a foundation board member and Discovery Gala co-chair, and now as the chair of the foundation board. I am so proud to be a part of Northwest Kidney Centers. Its mission to promote the optimal health, quality of life, and independence of people living with kidney disease encompasses so much more than dialysis. Education, research and innovation, home care, palliative care, support for transplantation, and more. Your gifts will ensure that our patients can fully focus on their care rather than worrying about how they will pay for it. Today, together, we have an opportunity to make a powerful and lasting impact on patients with our gifts. Please dig deep and give generously, and know that we are all incredibly grateful for every one of you. Thank you.
And thank you, Russ, for your leadership and commitment to this work. We all just want to be there for more patients and their families, like the Shaw family. We want to make sure we have the funding to provide these programs to our patients at absolutely no cost to them or their families. But we can't do that without you. So this is the time of the program that we turn to you. We have a fundraising goal today of $260,000. I know with your help that we can make it happen in this important moment. And we are going to start our giving at $5,000. And we are so incredibly honored to have a generous lead donation at the $5,000 level from a friend of Northwest Kidney Centers. The impact $5,000 can make, it can help us expand the palliative care programs at our 20 clinics. Who else can join us at the $5,000 level or any level that is comfortable for you? We are seeing donations pour in this important moment. I see Bob Homchick. He just came in at $1,000. Thank you, Bob. Keep those donations coming. We're going to make a difference. And with that said, our next level of giving, $2,500. A big thank you to Faye and Herman Sarkowski, Rick and Janine Graves. Rick is a former trustee. Brian Ritter and Interior Wood Products, also at $2,500. And Russ Stepp, who we just heard from, our chair of our foundation board. Thank you to Russ for your $2,000 donation. All right, let's check the progress bar. Once again, our goal for this event is $260,000. You can see it right down there at the bottom of your screen. We are approaching that all-important $200,000 level. Help us get over that benchmark. Help us reach our goal of $260,000 for this important fundraising event. Our next level of giving is the $1,000 level. A big thank you to Rebecca Fox, our CEO, at $1,000. Thank you, Rebecca. John and Kathy Shu, thank you. Mark and Kelly Ostro. Mark is on our board of trustees. Thank you. Doug Ross and Claudia Sanders. Doug is also on our board of trustees. Dr. Anne Marie Dooley, medical director for our Bellevue Clinic. Thank you to you. Dr. Sherry Morris and Reed Harris, also at $1,000. Dr. Catherine Treat, Melita and Mostafa Ahanchi, thank you. Gary and Catherine Byland, thank you, thank you. Catherine, of course, a former foundation board member. Dr. Paramita Mukherjee with an $1,100 gift, thank you. You know, you can give at a level that's comfortable for you. There is a custom amount, so she came in at $1,100. Cheryl Landis, longtime former employee at Northwest Kidney Centers, thank you. Toshiko Sunahara, thank you for your gift at $1,000. Wow, this is incredible. Look at these $1,000 donations pouring in. You are making it happen for our friends facing kidney disease. These donations just keep pouring in. And with that said, we are going to move on to our next level, which is $500. And Colette Bullis, longtime volunteer and donor, just joined us at $500. Thank you, Colette. Cynthia Flash, I've been seeing you in the chat on YouTube. Cynthia, thank you for your gift at $500. Pat Gayard, Dr. Timothy Dellett, also at $500. Dr. Lisa Florence, thank you, former board of Trustees chair, thank you. And Doctors Ann O'Hare and Rudy Rodriguez, all at $500. We are making it happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also at $400, I see Dr. Lee Hickok and Sharon Loomis, thank you. Dennis and Melissa Johnson, thank you. G. Hobart and Joanne Stebbins, thank you for your gift of $400. We have some $300 gifts as well. John and Jen Brenner, thank you. Jen is on our board of trustees. Christy Godrow, also on our board of trustees, thank you. Danielle Plansich on staff at Northwest Kidney Centers. The staffers are getting in on the generosity. Thank you. Andy Voorhees, also on staff. Thank you, Andy. The team at GA Creative, thank you for your $300 gift. With that said, let's check the fundraising progress bar once again. We went over $200,000. Yes, yes, your generosity, it is paying off. We just hit that very important benchmark. Keep it coming. Once again, our goal for the event, $260,000. I see Dr. Michael Kelly at $200. Thank you. I see Karma Bass at $200. Thank you. David Hilgers at $300. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to our next level, the $200 level. To let you know the impact, A $200 donation, that provides free education classes for a patient and family members. And we have more donations pouring in. Bob Walerius, Tammy Sadusky, I see Dr. Rex Ochi, I see Dr. Yoshia Hall, Doug Seto, a former foundation board member, thank you. Joyce Jackson, thank you. Jane and Dan Pryor. Hi, Jane. Hi, Dan. Thank you. Tammy Graves, another foundation board member. Clint Randolph, another former board chair. I see Jason Lawrence coming in. I see Mary Lewis coming in. I see Diane Lawson. Thank you. Wow, keep those donations coming. You are making a difference. You're making it happen. You are supporting more people right here in our community, our friends and our neighbors facing kidney disease. All right, our next levels of giving, it all makes a difference. The $100 level and the $50 level. Please give at a level that is comfortable for you. As I said, it all makes a difference. Know this, your donation, it's gonna make an immediate impact for people in our community facing kidney disease. Let's talk about that. The impact $100 can make. $100 covers 60 days of nutritional supplements for a patient. $50, just a $50 donation provides a patient with emergency transportation so they won't miss dialysis. So important. So maybe you've given before. Think about giving again at $50 so we can get our patients to their dialysis. With that said, let's check some real-time donations. These just came in. Brad Fisher at $200. Thank you, Brad. I see Becca Chung at $100. Thank you, Becca. I see Raj Mahotra at $200. Thank you, Raj. And look right down there at the progress bar, we're approaching just this close to $205,000. Wow, you are making it happen. We've gone over $200,000 during this live streamed event. Keep those donations coming in. You have all just done something absolutely amazing. I have to say, as somebody who's invested in this work, in this community, it is so inspiring to see our community come together and give so generously to support these vital patient programs. By the way, if your employer matches charitable donations, Microsoft, Boeing, Google, Starbucks, to name a few, go to them. Tell them about your generosity, and you can double your impact for patients. All right, now on to the keynote speaker, who is an internationally recognized expert in palliative care. Dr. Stephen Pantelat is the Cates Bernard and Hellman Distinguished Professor in Palliative Care and the inaugural Chief of the Division of Palliative Medicine at the University of California, San Francisco. He is also the author of Life After the Diagnosis, expert advice on living well with serious illness for patients and their caregivers. And Dr. Pantelat and his team at UCSF are featured in the Oscar-nominated Netflix documentary Endgame. So it is really no surprise. Dr. Pantelat wanted to start his talk for you with a dramatic scenario.
You're on a plane, flying at 36,000 feet. You're sitting back, wearing your mask, reading a book. When suddenly the plane drops 10,000 feet. You look out the window and there's an engine on fire. You're in a panic and you think, I'm going to die. That's what it's like when you get a serious illness diagnosis. When the doctor says, you have cancer. The test shows that it's ALS. You have kidney failure. And while it feels like you're going to die, it turns out there's a lot you can do to right the plane and get it to fly smoothly. Now, it's true, you probably won't be able to just sit back and read your book. You'll have to be the co-pilot. And the flight may not last quite as long, and the destination may differ. But no matter how difficult the medical news, you can usually get the plane and your life back in control. Even in the midst of chaos, there is hope. Over the past 27 years, I've cared for thousands of people who have received just this kind of really bad news. And I have learned that we can live well with kidney disease, chronic lung disease, heart failure, if we can find the courage to face reality and engage in the simple, loving, and caring act of talking about hope. And I don't just mean hope for a cure, which is the most sincere, heartfelt, and deep hope. You know, that's a hope that I share with my patients and one that I wish were always possible. But what I'm talking about, what I mean is all of the hopes that can coexist with the hope for a cure. Achievable hopes, what I call realistic hope, true hope that can be the path to a good life in the face of serious illness. Now, it turns out that when we think about serious illness, there's good news as well as bad news. Good news first. The good news is that there's never been a better time to be alive if what you want is to be alive. Which is to say that after being flat for all of human history, human lifespan has increased dramatically in the last 100 years. In the year 1900, Americans lived on average to age 50. Today we live on average to age 80. So that's the good news. So what's the bad news? Well, the bad news is that over this exact same period of time, the death rate has remained remarkably stable at 100%. But you didn't need me to tell you this. What is less obvious is that while on average we will live longer, it is also true that we are likely to live for years or decades with serious illness, like kidney failure, Parkinson's disease, or dementia. And when that happens, it's like the plane is plummeting down towards Earth. The tendency for people with serious illness, their loved ones, and even doctors and nurses is to turn away from what's really going on because it's just too sad and difficult to face. We have to do better for each other. Instead of turning away, we have to find the courage to face reality, no matter how sad or difficult the situation. Now, I get it. It's out of love and caring that we avoid reality, and I'm talking about doctors and nurses as much as family members and friends. We don't want to make the person we care about sad or take away hope. I understand the worry that talking about what's really going on will destroy hope. But in my experience, it doesn't work that way, because hope is an essential, fundamental part of the human experience. Hope is durable and powerful and persistent, even in the darkest of times. Hope is the light that banishes the darkness. Even more, hope is a positive emotion, like joy and gratitude and love. It makes us feel better. In fact, hope is the antidote to sorrow and despair. And so, to express true love and caring, we need to find the courage to face reality and talk about hope. Because courage means doing what is hard, even when we're afraid. In fact, we cannot really have courage or don't need it unless we are afraid. And it's precisely in those moments, as the plane is hurtling towards the ground and we're afraid of dying, afraid of loss, afraid of the future, that we need to find the courage to face reality and talk about hope with kindness, with empathy, with compassion, and with love. One challenge is that we in healthcare often make it worse when we lack the courage to face reality. Helen was an 86-year-old woman with very advanced dementia and kidney disease who was living with her daughter. One morning, Helen's daughter walks in and finds her breathing 4 times a minute and moaning quietly. Helen was dying. Helen's daughter didn't know what to do, so she called 911. The paramedics came and whisked Helen off to the emergency room. In the emergency room, the doctor asked Helen's daughter, "Would you like us to do everything possible for your mom?" Now, what's the answer to that question? Yes, of course. I mean, can you imagine? The doctor asks, "Would you like us to do everything for your mom?" And you say, for my mom, half is plenty. Don't knock yourself out. She's a quitter. It's just a terrible question, because there's only one answer that may not be the right answer. Helen's daughter, of course, said yes. And the doctor called the intensive care unit team and the medical team to come and admit Helen to the hospital. They were getting ready to put a big IV in her neck, a tube down her throat, draw blood, take x-rays, give antibiotics. One of our palliative care physicians just happened to be on call that day for the medicine team. And as soon as he heard the story, he raced down to the emergency room, beat the intensive care unit team, because sometimes in palliative care, you have to be fast. He could immediately see what was going on and had the courage to name it. He said to Helen's daughter, "Your mother is very sick. In fact, she's dying." And Helen's daughter said, "Yes, I know." And then the doctor asked, "How were you hoping we could help?" There's the word, hope. How were you hoping we could help? And Helen's daughter held up a bag. She said, "We brought new clothes. We want to dress her in new clothes for her journey to the next life." The doctor said, "Well, that's really important. Why don't we do that right here in the emergency room? We'll give her some medicine to make her more comfortable, and we can move her to a quiet room upstairs where you and your family can be with her." Helen's daughter said, "Yes, thank you." And that's what happened. But she was this close to going to the ICU and receiving care she didn't want and wouldn't benefit from. We avoided that because we had the courage to see what was really going on, to say it, and to ask the right question about hope. Now, it may seem counterintuitive, but so much of my work as a palliative care physician is talking about hope. So what is palliative care? Palliative care is medical care focused on improving quality of life for people with serious illness. And you can learn everything you need to know about palliative care from just one study. This study enrolled 151 people with a new diagnosis of metastatic lung cancer, which is a serious illness. When this study was done over 10 years ago, on average, people with this illness lived for 9 months with treatment. All the people in the study received state-of-the-art chemotherapy, and then half of the people were randomly assigned to receive palliative care in addition to and alongside chemotherapy. So what did they find? What they found is that everything good that we want to have happen to people, less pain, less shortness of breath, better quality of life, less depression, happened to the people who received palliative care alongside chemotherapy. And those people who received palliative care lived longer, on average by 3 months, 1 year versus 9 months for those who received chemotherapy alone. I like to say that if palliative care were a drug, everyone would get it, including everyone with kidney disease. Fortunately, today we have better treatments for lung cancer and other illnesses to help us live better and longer, and new treatments are on the horizon, but the basic findings of the study remain the same. Palliative care helps people with serious illness live better, and we are learning from the work of Dr. Lamb and his team at the Northwest Kidney Centers and others that palliative care can be just as helpful for people with kidney disease. Bottom line, if you or a loved one has a serious illness like kidney disease, you should make sure you get palliative care alongside any and all other treatments. And don't take no for an answer. If anyone tells you you're not ready, insist on getting palliative care. Our goal in palliative care is to help people with serious illness live as well as possible for as long as possible, which is actually what I say to my patients. I say, my goal, our goal as a team, is to help you live as well as possible for as long as possible. And so many patients say, that sounds good. I want that. And I've learned that the best way to help someone live as well as possible is to focus on hope. In fact, talking about hope is so valuable that I call it the golden question. When you think about the future, what do you hope for? It's incredibly simple and reveals so much. A few years ago, we were caring for Mary, who was a 72-year-old woman who had heart failure and kidney disease, a very serious combination. Mary was in our intensive care unit with a pneumonia that had worsened her breathing and damaged her heart even more. She was so sick that her already ailing kidneys failed, and we recommended dialysis to ease her shortness of breath. She was on such high levels of oxygen that we could only provide it in the intensive care unit, and despite all of our treatments, Mary was getting sicker. One morning on rounds, I told my team and the ICU team that it was time to go in and ask Mary what she hopes for. The ICU physician looked at me like I was crazy. She said, "Steve, what are you talking about? Mary is so sick and getting sicker every day. There is no hope." So we went into Mary's room, and I asked Mary, "Mary, when you look to the future, what do you hope for?" Mary thought for a moment, and then she said, "I hope to see my daughter get married." And I said, "Well, Mary, tell us more about that." And Mary's eyes lit up, and she said, "It's in 9 months in the Napa Valley." And I immediately thought, I just don't see it. I wasn't sure she would live for 10 months and knew that even if she did, she would never leave the ICU. So we talked about it honestly with Mary and her daughter, who said, "Well, that's important to me too. I'll just get married right here in the ICU." And sure enough, a few days later, Mary's daughter came to the ICU in a beautiful white wedding gown. Her fiancé was in a tuxedo. We put a corsage on Mary's hospital gown. Our palliative care chaplain officiated. There were family, friends, nurses, doctors, respiratory therapists. Not a dry eye in the ICU. And it was beautiful. Mary achieved the thing she most hoped for, because we not only had the courage to ask about hope, but when Mary told us what she hoped for, we had the courage to say, that's really important, and we need to do it now. Because it's easy in that situation to say, "Oh, I hope so too." And what would Mary think? She would think that she's going to make it, when I mean the exact opposite. And I would submit to you that if I let Mary think she's going to make it when I think she won't, then what she has is false hope, not true hope. And in the end, false hope is no hope, because it's not based in reality. And you might wonder, well, what's the harm of a little false hope? Let her believe she's going to make it. The harm is that we squander our time, perhaps pursue and accept treatments that are more likely to hurt than help. And most importantly, that we miss the opportunity to achieve what is possible. We, all of us, have to be in the realistic hope business, the true hope business. Because while we may not be able to achieve all of our hopes in the face of serious illness, there are many hopes we can achieve. Finish a degree, visit our hometown, write a book, make a quilt for our as yet to be born grandchild. And know that we can experience joy and gratitude and love even in the face of serious illness. If we talk about hope, we can achieve the goal of living long and living well. So let me share with you a story about my grandmother, my Safta, that I write about in my book. In my book, Life After the Diagnosis. It's a short story that really makes this point. My Safta used to sign birthday cards with the wish that you should live to 120. Moses lived to 120. And a traditional birthday wish is that you should have a long life like Moses, the greatest teacher and leader of the Jewish people. But as she got older, my grandmother changed it just a bit. In Hebrew, she switched just one letter, and the change in meaning was profound. Rather than writing, live to 120, she wrote, live to 100 like 20. Live long and live well. My Savta understood that a good life is even more important than a long life. She lived that saying and declined chemotherapy when she was diagnosed with lung cancer at age 93. Not all of us will live that long, but we can all live that saying by living well. My Savta was very wise and sweet. After my Savta died, my aunt was cleaning her room and found 10 pounds of chocolate stashed in drawers around her room. At my Savta's funeral, I said, I now know why my Savta was so sweet. Because if you are what you eat, my Savta was 90% chocolate. When our time comes, we can hope to land the plane gently. Too often in medicine, we ignore the fact that all planes must land, that all lives must end. We think we can just fly the plane around and ignore the fact the fuel gauge is going down. And then suddenly an engine goes out, and we just keep flying around until finally we run out of fuel and the plane crashes and burns to the ground. How much better to savor the flight and, as the fuel runs low, to land the plane gently. How can we do that, even in the face of serious illness? By having the courage to face the reality of the situation and to talk about hope, all our hopes. Because at any time in our lives, we must remember that hope makes us who we are. That our hopes remind us of what is most important to us, and that hope endures. Thank you very much.
This event is proof that hope endures. Thank you, Dr. Pantalat, for sharing such inspiring stories and your words of hope. And while you were listening to him talk about palliative care, you were also doing the work. You were donating to our palliative care team. I want to read some donations that came in during that keynote address. At $1,500, I see Dr. Dan Lamb, thank you. At $1,000, I see Beth Meidinger, thank you. I see Daintree Price at $1,000. Also, George Ward, Jim Liming, PJ Bowser. Dennis Johnson gave another $1,000. He donated before. Dennis came back and donated again. Thank you, Dennis. At $500, I see Sanjit Reddy, Glenda Roberts, Brenda Warm, Todd Maringan, Freya Nula Carmack, thank you, and Lou De La Garza, all at $500. And it's Fia Nula Carmack. I apologize that I mispronounced your name. At $300, I see Bino Friedman and Dr. Jonathan Himmelfarb. Thank you to both of you. Also at $200, Nathan Appleton, and $150, Marla Levy. And that is just some of the incredible donations that poured in during our keynote speech. By the way, we have now topped $211,000. We are on our way to our goal, thanks to you. It doesn't end here. The hard work continues. Spread the word. Share about this event on social media, and you can help us reach our goal of $260,000. And with that said, let's take another moment again to thank our event's signature sponsors who made this event and helped us make it happen. Aldrich & Associates, Ascend Clinical, and the Kidney Research Institute. And our event's presenting sponsors, Davis Wright Tremaine and UW Medicine. So on behalf of Northwest Kidney Centers, thank you. My name is Matt Lorch. I appreciate you joining us today. Thank you for your incredible generosity and support. With that said, I hope to see you in person at the Discovery Gala Saturday, October 9th at our new venue, the Hyatt Regency Seattle. I will be your proud auctioneer once again. It is going to be a truly memorable night as we come together as a community and from all of us here at Northwest Kidney Centers. Thank you. This has been amazing. You made a positive impact on this day. And with that said, be proud of what you did and have a great afternoon.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.